Family to me means unity, connected, support, love, happiness, care, fellowshipping, just a deep, ongoing love and connection that you always have.
Our families deserve protection. Our families deserve safety.
My babies are my family. It's just the love built between you and others.
Family is everything to me. We really have each other's back.
Unfortunately, for many families, the family policing system, also known as Child Protective Services, threatens safety.
These kids are in good care. I'm their grandmother, and y'all want to snatch them out of my arms and put them in somebody's house that they don't even know?
In the United States, the family police remove over 250,000 kids from their homes every year.
In North Carolina specifically, the family police remove 5,000 kids from their homes every year. These kids are traumatized, and their caregivers suffer terribly, not knowing what will happen to their kids.
So you have to have a reason, right? You have to have a reason, right?
I don't have the paperwork. I'm not in charge of paperwork. I'm just relaying what they're saying, okay? They're saying if they don't get the kids by 4 o'clock, you're going to be facing kidnapping charges.
On July 12, 2024, Durham County CPS released a video claiming that they take children away to protect them from their families. But is that really what is happening?
I really felt like I did everything. I felt like I did everything right, but the best to my ability. And for my babies, it was enough. My babies were happy. My babies smiled every day. Like, where did I really go wrong? It feels like a nightmare that you just can't wake up from.
It takes a ton of mental fortitude to live every day knowing that I don't have my boys with me, not knowing where they are, what they are doing, how they are feeling, what they look like now, how they've grown, not being able to share in their favorite foods, favorite movies, favorite school subject. I'm sorry, I just need to say.
It was the biggest traumatizing thing that's ever happened to me. And it changed my life. It ripped me apart. My baby that was with me every single day of her life, my baby girl who I cared for, I nurtured, loved, protected every single day, I had her taken from me. And not only was she taken from me, she was kept from me for 2 years. And throughout that entire time, I'm going to court and being told why I can't have her back.
She just saw me that one time, never came to my home, never informed that there was a problem or something that could cause her to be taken, and then provide solutions instead of the trauma that's been imposed on our family.
I last told him at a supervised visit that I would be back in a few days. I can see his little face now looking back at me as I walked away and the social worker pulling him to leave the visit. I told him I was coming and I never came back. Because the judge ended visitation before my next scheduled visit, I wasn't allowed to keep my word to my son.
I felt like I was being punished. Like I never knew that this was possible, that whole nightmare that I went through. They're called Child Protective Services, yet they come in literally tear apart a child from their mother who does care about them and protect them.
CPS claims they want to keep children in their communities and provide resources, counseling, and nurturing that parents and children need. But is that the truth?
Data show that more than 1/3 of children will experience a family policing system investigation by their 18th birthday. And when we distill down by race, more than half Black children will experience a family policing system investigation.
Between the years of 2013 and 2022, over 550,000 kids were in the foster care system every year.
You always have to look at any kind of racist institution. How does it function? And then look at the historical roots and understand its purpose today. And so there's a particular purpose of using child removal and family separation against Black people. We can trace that then to after the Civil War and how child apprenticeship laws, which were a form of court-ordered family separation, were used by white people to take back the labor of Black children. This system is designed to oppress and disrupt and destroy Black families and communities, and it just needs to be dismantled and replaced with an approach that truly supports families and cares for children and keep them safe.
Cases in North Carolina already go on way too long. In fact, Durham is the slowest county in North Carolina to achieve reunification of separated families, with children in care for a median of 677 days. 7 out of 10 children are still in custody after 720 days in Durham County. My children alone were in custody for over 1,825 days.
What are the reasons the government is taking these children? And why is the family policing system ravaging so many communities? Take, for example, in 2019 when the General Assembly reviewed how caseworkers screen in cases for neglect. CPS Intake gets a call from a Food and Nutrition Services case manager that a parent was very irate that food stamps had not been added to her account. She said that she had 4 children and there was no food in the home, and she asked the worker what she was supposed to do to feed those kids today. CPS called this an easy screen-in for neglect.
At the beginning of my case, I was staying in public housing. It makes me feel not safe at all, because it's like I feel like they can come in and just do whatever they want. Like low class, poor, and you're having kids, you don't deserve them.
You're giving hundreds of dollars to foster care and social workers. I didn't have any government assistance. So walking into the courtroom, it was always, well, how do you take care of them? If you don't have a job and you don't have this and you don't have that, how do you take care of them? Offer their help before you take our children from us. Offer their help before you ruin our families.
CPS claims the family has an opportunity to talk about what they can, what they will do, and what they can't do. But what is court like in reality for families? And why are support systems and communities constantly told they can't be in the courtroom? What is the bureaucracy trying to hide?
Here I am, a mom. I know who I am. You know, my family knows who I am. My friends, anyone who's seen my baby, they know me. But here I am on court, and the social workers, the judge, they're reading a paper, and that's who I am to them. I'm nothing else but that. Even though the paper wasn't like horrible, it literally just said, you know, the mom went to the hospital at 4 a.m. to seek help for herself. God forbid I am a single mother and I brought my baby with me and had CPS called on me. It felt just really like they were just there literally going through the motions. It wasn't like they cared about me or my child.
You feel like you don't have a voice, and these are your children. I'm very angry when I walk in that courtroom. So it's like, oh, you have an attitude, so I think you should do anger management again.
I had 5 social workers over the course of this time because of all of the turnover. I had 3 attorneys because I had to fire my first 2 public defenders before I found an attorney who would actually fight for me. But that was already years into the case, so it turned out to be too late. Months would go by between court dates. My public defenders and the DSS caseworkers and the GAL mostly saw me as another person on their list. As I sat through my court hearings and tried to follow processes and watched other cases, it was clear that my family bonds were weakening and dying through all of the delays. And then the lack of bond was used as the reason to terminate my parental rights.
How can we keep CPS accountable to their stated missions? And what are they spending their multi-million-dollar budget on every year?
See, the Administration for Children and Families, which is a federal entity, conducts the Child and Family Services Review. North Carolina has failed every single review, but the federal government keeps giving them more money to reform themselves. In Durham County, for instance, over 80% of the $68 million Social Services Board budget goes to personnel and operating costs. But if states just gave families what they needed, there would not be a need to separate families. But we know this to be true, which is what brings us to this moment of resistance in North Carolina. We urge families in North Carolina to take steps to educate and organize locally to respond to the family policing system. And here are some tips. Do your research on family policing, like Google the words family policing system, not child welfare, and go down the rabbit hole. Learn the chain of command in your local jurisdiction, not just who's the social worker, but who is the supervisor, the program manager, the director. Who are your county commissioners, the funders of this agency? Start court watching. Courts in North Carolina are open. Go and find out when they are holding court and go sit inside of court and learn. Community members should also build community naturally and have conversations about how you can leverage resources to address the needs that arise in your community. If you are contacted by the family police, consult an attorney immediately. Do not allow the family police into your home without a warrant, and do not allow them to speak to your children alone. And finally, stop calling the family police. We are building with the understanding that before this system existed, the system of capitalism and colonialism that gave birth to the family policing system, community, villages kept their own children safe.
Our families deserve protection. CPS does not protect our families. We protect our families.
Family is a unit that you build on your own.
We share a lot of the same values and we just naturally love each other. It's just something that you're just born into. You love your family. I love my mother and my siblings. And then when I had children, I love them the same. And you just naturally want to take care of them.
I just want my children back. Like, that's it. At the end of the day, if I had a wish to make it all come true, that's what I would want, my children back.
Stop kidnapping Black families! Stop kidnapping Black children! Stop